Hi everyone, welcome to this edition of Addington News. I've had some computer issues, so haven't quite got the backdrop that we normally have, Darren Williams, but what we do have this week is an 11 race program and a really interesting trot race. It's riled up my good friend Michael Guerin about starting at the mile point again, but it's a novelty. There's enough people suggested they were happy to start in it, and they're racing for 20,000, and Neville have got behind it sponsorship-wise. So, yeah, there must be a few reasons why we're doing it.
Oh, look, hey, we know it's not everyone's cup of tea. We know it's not the best starting point. But as we said last week, we don't want to be running the Fredshaw Memorial Group 1 race before we run it. We've got a Trotters Classic to come, so we've mixed it up on purpose. And hey, time up the hill, she could end up with a really good mobile mile time out of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, she's drawn one, she's found her form again. Perhaps she's not in the class of the Muscle Mountains of the world, but a placing in this race will add to her broodmare credentials anyway. And, you know, it's a novelty, a wee bit like our 2,400 metre stand that we start on purpose out in front of the crowd once a year. People don't want to go in it, they don't have to.
No, absolutely, they do not. Hey, we talked last week about the upcoming premiers on the 1st and 8th of April. Have you got any updates stakes-wise? And I know you had a couple of maidens there for 15,000, which, yeah, that should be pretty attractive, I would have thought.
Yeah, look, we've got holding stakes in there at the moment. They will be updated today, which is Wednesday or Thursday. They'll be updated for those programs for the 1st and the 8th. They will go up. So we've got holding stakes of 15,000 and about 17.5. They definitely will go up. The two maidens, what we're going to do next week, so we've got two maiden races at 15,000. We'll leave those at 15,000 at the moment. There's not much wrong with a $15,000 maiden, but what we will do in the program is if we get 12 starters or more in those races, we will increase those stakes to 17,500. So not a bad maiden stake to be winning. Based on trying to get that field size up. So yeah, they'll be 15 regardless, but touch wood, they should be 17.5. And if that's not enough to chase some maidens into a race, I don't know what is, because there's nothing wrong with place money and a $17,500 stake.
No, you're not wrong there. Excellent program this week, and you ended up with 11, so we're kicking things off before 5 o'clock.
Yeah, so we split the race that we were going to split 3 ways. We split it 4 ways. It's brought those fields down to 9, but we wanted to make sure that everyone got their start. It did give us the ability to compress the ratings a wee bit in some of those races, which we know is something people like. And it also gave us the ability to give all those horses a start before the Premier meetings the next couple of weeks. So it was one thing we were mindful of. So, yeah, really looking forward to Friday night and the two after it. And then, of course, Easter Saturday after that. So let's rip into it. Race 1 gets underway at 4:46, and it's the IRT Your Horse, Our Passion Mobile Trot 1980.
Yeah, the pacing bred trotter, Rakiro Blaze, she's really starting to step up for the Rakiro team. And Phil Burrows, of course, trains privately for them. And I reckon this horse will be really hard to beat from that draw. Hasn't got the credentials of some of those drawn wider out under this conditions of this race. But the way she's racing, she'll be on the speed, I think. And, yeah, she'll take all sorts of catching. So I'm happy to have her on top. I think Navarra's very close to another win. Excellent second, 2 starts back here, and then was nothing wrong with that run behind Martha Stewart last time. So I give him a chance. Wide out, we've got Sod's Law. When he drops back to this type of grade, Darren, always very competitive. Doesn't mind a 1980 here at Addington Raceway. And yeah, James Geddes, if you see him at the races every time, there's always a smile on his face. And normally it's because this horse is a little bit like a cash flow card. So I give it a chance. And Agui, the 3. Always had the talent, the son of Pete, but has always brought it to the racetrack. Since his last race, I see it's been back to the trials and was winning, so it might be your first 4 bolter. But yeah, happy to be with the 3-year-old filly.
Race 2, first leg of the early quaddie, the Open City Ford Mobile Pace, 2,600 metres at 5:21.
Yeah, first leg of that early quaddie, Sergeant Best is miles overdue to win a maiden. 2 starts back was, well, we just have to rule a line through that run because all of the form around that suggests that he can absolutely win this race. So I think from a good barrier draw, Brendan Hill, yep, that'll do me. I'm happy to have it on top. Of Taylor Me, who was well backed on debut, had an awkward second row draw. Awkward front row draw. Just never really got into the race. So I'd probably forgive that and the fact that she's so well bred. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't be discarding her. Bubba Scrub always looked like it was going to win a maiden in its first campaign. It's trained by Regan Todd, has Robbie Close. That team, that combination's just flying at the moment. And Ajira has all the breeding in the reel by Betters Delight out of Allura. So that's the Renwick Farms breed. Didn't quite live up to the breeding or the trial form on its first campaign, but I think it's a bit better than that, and has been a trial winner as well, Darren. So an even sort of a maiden, but I reckon Sergeant Best can be best in race number 2.
Well overdue, isn't it? Race number 3, the second leg of the early quaddies, the Emerson's Low Carb Pacific Pilsener Pace, standing start race, 2,000 metres.
Yeah, tricky one. They always are. Let's Go Ringo's the hardest one to beat, though. Steps pretty quickly over the short course. It's definitely the one that you need to have on your ticket. Colin Julie de Philippi from that great draw. Bailey's Pitch, again, the Regan Todd team. First up run, a lot of people would have seen it and thought, yep, I need to have something on it next time. That was in behind No Terror. So I like its chances. It's another one that's really well bred by Betters Delight out of Bailey's Pearl. So I'm sure that it'll live up to its breeding at some stage. Backburn was a hard watch at the Mott in front and was basically chased along all the way by Katie Cox and actually battled on really solidly. That was a blanket finish. I reckon it can improve, and it's got the ability from the stand to get away quickly, which is imperative for this race, and move it on over. You talk about informed teams. Matt Purvis's team is at that category. It's trialled nicely. It's got some breeding. And yeah, I can see it being a pretty decent sort of an each way chance too. But I'll stick Let's Go Ringo on top and think that it's right in that category of overdue to win.
Race number 4 is the Crossing Handicap Trot, 2,600 at 6.11, and it's one of the sponsors that's involved in IRT New Zealand Cup meeting, of course. We've got some really good sponsors across the program, very loyal ones to us. So the Crossing sponsor race 4.
Yeah, and gee, it's like a crossword, Darren. There's that many chances in this. It's blooming hard to work out exactly who might take it out. So if you've been backing one, I would suggest you stick with it. Belafonte might be, or Belafonte rather, might be the best in the race. Nice win at Rangiora, got things wrong at the Mott, but it's better than that. So I can see it having strong support and a decent winning chance. Awesome Impey gets into a race where I reckon she can be pretty competitive out of the Wakeland Noble team, Philippa and Stephen. So you need it, I think. The 10, Winning Bones, Matthew Williamson trains and drives. Form line doesn't look that strong, but it's been a winner here at Addington Raceway before, and I think it can be competitive in a race like this. And Old Take After Me, isn't it, all favours lately? Comes up with the right barrier draw, will put itself right in the race, and it's a chance too. But you know, you've got Ko-Ai Sundown, Sally Lindeni, Rachmaninoff, who won its first race in about a year, all with chances, Darren. But yeah, you might, if you can afford to mark that F on your ticket, this might be the race for you.
Race number 5 is the last leg of the quaddie. Talk about loyal sponsors. The Commodore Hotel Mobile Pace, 1980 at 6.45.
Yeah, been with the club for a very long time, and yeah, it's always great to have their name associated with a race at Addington. Suntan's the best in it. She hasn't always shown her best form, but gee, she's in the right race here, Darren. If she's not competitive in this, I'm not too sure where they'll go next. So I'll stand her out over Cab Callaway, who was excellent last time. Just haven't got a driver for that Ken Barron trained runner at this stage, with Blair Orange being up at the Northern meeting, but generally goes forward and puts itself right in the race. So it's a chance. Lancewood Louis honing in on another win, I think. And Woodley Diego had no luck down there at Invercargill. Excellent prior to that, and does enjoy racing at Addington Raceway. So I give it a chance too. But yeah, Suntan's the watch horse. If she's going to front up against the 3-year-olds this year, she'd need to be nearly winning this race.
Race number 6 is the NZB Standardbred 2-year-old fillies Mobile Pace, 1980 at 7.15. We get these 2-year-old fillies underway as a precursor, if you like, to the Lennon Memorial, which is coming up on behalf of Cheviot. We're going to run that at one of our race meetings this year for them. So a couple of these youngsters stepping out for the first time, and they're always exciting.
Stephen Amanda Telfer have Waterview highlighted on the box seat on last night's program, and yeah, really trialled nicely. It's got plenty of breeding about it. It's down by the seaside. Who's the Woodlands stud stallion, of course, and looking forward to seeing some of these horses. I've got a lot of good raps around the stables about how kind they are and how they really have a motor. So she looks like she's got one. So I think she can win on debut. Cardi B's done nothing wrong. Excellent run down there at Invercargill last time. Tom Twaddle, you know my thoughts on him. All of his horses don't come to the races unless they're going to be competitive, and this one's clearly got a fair bit of the family ability. So I give it a really good chance of going close to getting its second win. Judine from the inside, not the worst. This one trained by Robert and Jenna Dunn, and they've got Mystify Me in it as well, who has trialled okay too. So, and of course, it's raced by the Westview Racing Syndicate. So good luck to Nigel Armstrong and his team there. I think it's Syndicate, what does it say? Number 23. There you go. I don't know if he's had 23 syndicates or it's just number 23. We'll find out.
He does a great job, and of course the great mare Spellbound, the real flagship horse, is an entrant in the race, so that's going to be exciting coming up at Cambridge. Race number 7, another small field, of course, is the Neville Stud Trotters Flying Mile here at Addington, over a mile at 7:45.
Yeah, starts intriguing, isn't it? The Dominator gets out very good. I think Heavyweight Hero will get out good. Time Up the Hill will hold her spot. So where do we find Muscle Mountain? And, of course, Oscar Bonavina, who now is trained by Regan Todd and has Robbie Close this week. This is the race he got beaten in last year by Chinese Whisper. I think the 5 and 6 will fight it out. I'm just not too sure how the race is going to pan out for that to happen. But Muscle Mountain's the best in it, and he probably should win. But, yeah, Oscar's trial the other day was excellent against the paces, and, yeah, you never want to underestimate his raw ability. So 5 and 6, flip them up either way you like. Midnight Dash is so consistent, and the Dominator, I think, will lead early, so therefore it'll finish in the top 3 or 4, I think, as it invariably does over the short course.
Race 8, the Box Seat Mobile Pace, 1980, first leg of the Lake Quaddie at 8:15.
Yeah, you said loyal sponsors. Well, we're trying to be loyal, Darren. We haven't been around that long, but we're trying to be loyal, and we've got a good race here. I better make sure I can find the winner. Yeah, Terra Maria is probably the winner on her exposed form. She leaves the gate well. Her last time she was at Addington Raceway, she finished second behind Franco Indy. Like, that's got to be a great form line for this. And she's done very little wrong since then, and she's in the Bob Butt team. So she's on top, but Folklore will give her plenty to think about. We haven't seen Folklore since going around in the Group 1 behind Better Talk Art, the breeders. Look, if the right Folklore turns up here, then I think she'll probably win it. So I found it hard to split the 5 and 6. Take them either way you like. Sounds of Cash is way better than that last start. There might have been a little bit of a bug in the Dunn team because a few of them underperformed, and she was one of those. But she can bounce back here. And Franco Norton's won 2 of its last 4 and has the right barrier draw to be right in this. But, yeah, Folklore, Terra Maria, not much between those two.
Quite a lot of speed in this race, isn't there? With Midfree Louisiana Bowes, always a bit of a free runner when she gets going. And in Sounds of Cash, as we know, what she did on show day, she can just keep rolling when she gets going.
Yeah, so good race.
Race number 9 is the More FM Mobile Trot, 1980 at 8:40.
Yeah, here's the best each way of the evening. If she trots all the way, Majestic Chick is a fantastic bet in this. Go back and have a look at her run last time. She galloped in the score-up. She went back to the inside for Corbin Newman, just made up a phenomenal amount of ground and was held up doing it. This is her go, 1,980 metres. Have a look at her record in the race book. It tells you that she should be right in this up to her eyeballs. I picked her on top. I think she's the best each way of the night. Over Majestic Action, who got narrowly beaten last time by My Moments Now, who's in wonderful form. Bit of Muscle's way better than that last start performance. Not too sure what happened there, but he can bounce back in this too, and I'll give him a good chance. And Sue Princess has finally found her mojo and just keeps going good races too, but trot all the way. I've left out Gazman. I can't catch him. I didn't catch him when he won, when he led. So I thought I'll put him in last time and he galloped. So maybe it's the time to be on him again. But yeah, I'm happy to be on Majestic Chick here.
Race number 10 is the Hagley Windows and Doors Mobile Pace, 1980 at 9:05.
Manjimup will take some beating in this. Gee, it's been going good races we've brought this up a few times, Darren, forever. Just seems to really enjoy Addington Raceway. Third last week was good. comes up with another handy barrier draw, and I reckon each way, all day, Manjimup. Revered is always heavily back, comes up with the right barrier draw here to be very competitive, and I expect him to be so in this race. Then I found a spot for Coachella, who's done nothing wrong in her 4 starts today. Won't be easy from out there. And as I mentioned, no Blair Orange, so we'll get a confirmed driver there, but it won't be an easy steer, I wouldn't think, to beat some of these horses like Giselle, who, invariably, when they get into this sort of class of race, are right up and very competitive. But yeah, Manjimup over Revered. You're probably going to get better value around Manjimup, as you always do, Darren. Always pays great place money.
Yeah, he was a bit stiff last time, just cleared them late and roared home. He's doing a good job, Ross Cameron, and Steve Harding trains that one, of course. The last race is the last leg of the quaddie, always the first direct taxis, mobile pays 1980 at 9:30.
You won't get any big odds about the last horse in the book. Last horse, last race, Lumen Cayley, or Shayley, I think is how Matt Cross calls it. Excellent when winning on debut. Has been to the trials, and again, if you've got a chance, go back and have a look at that Rangiora trial last time. Just charged up on the inside. That was the trial won by Oscar Bonavina, and it's hard to see. Natalie Rasmussen's only little, and the horse sort of was hiding in behind them, but gee, it found the line good. I have spoken to her since then, and she said, we really like him. Well, if they really like him, he'll be winning this race, even from that draw. So he stands himself out. All by myself was excellent first up. That was in one of the Team Teal races. Sam Otley drove on that occasion, just kept fighting them off at Rangiora. Ardent Delight's got a good barrier draw. She'll be in this for a wee way, and Steph's boys racing really well. But they'll need to go at their absolute peak to beat Lumen Cayley.
Yeah, so look, it's going to be a great program. Really looking forward to it. We're going to leave you with the excitement that was Sunday Sun last week at Addington, where he ticked over that $1 million barrier in stakes into that elite club, and he really did it in style, straight to the front pretty much, and just run them ragged as he does and just kept staying. So we're going to leave you with that on the way out. We're looking forward to seeing him perhaps next week, and certainly in the Fred Shaw. And we'll leave you with $1 million earner in Sunday Sun on the way out, and we'll see you Friday.
In Midnight Dash, 29-3 the third quarter. Sunday Sun 3 in front from Mataderos. Heavyweight Hero's running on, but it's Sunday Sun. He's 3.5 in front from Heavyweight Hero. Then came Five Wise Men. They're not getting near Sunday Sun. He trots into the $1 million club. A place only the elite shall go. Sunday Sun wins it by 3. Second Mataderos. 30 the Midnight Dash or Heavyweight Hero. Then came Five Wise Men at Muscle Mountain. Tailed them in.